Hello, everyone. And we are so excited to actually meet you all. I know Halloween is coming, and this is the special Halloween live that we are so excited to bring to you guys because today is special. And we have a special treat. Yes. And when I say treat, it's really a treat because we have a very I would say a very loving, generous, and an expert in addiction medicine. And so I'm so happy that today I have Dr. Mitika Kanabar with me, who is certified in family medicine. She is a certified addiction medicine specialist, and she's also both certified in lifestyle medicine. And I know, as if that was not enough, she also did a fellowship on psychiatric medicine as well. She is an expert in eating behaviors and addiction medicine. And at the same time, she is also an avid gardener, and she recently actually chaired California Society of Addiction Medicine Conference. So you can see, like, she has many accolades, and we are so excited to have her. And I know, like, Halloween is coming, and this is the time. I know, like, we bring so many treats, candies that we want to give it to our trick-or-treaters. But even before they reach them, I know sometimes it reaches our tummy. And before we know, like, as if we are not eating enough sugar already, this is the time when there is a lot of consumption of sugar or processed food, and not to mention like how much like what we are doing to our kids, especially during this Halloween when they collect bags and loads of candies. Seldom do we think that what might actually happen, because even just a single candy, like, do you know, it just has 22 grams of sugar, and we are just talking about that little tiny candy that we might just offer them, and imagine them getting from so many people. And obviously it also clogs their blood vessels, which we don't realize. We think that they're young, maybe nothing would happen to them. But even this is the time when their arteries start clogging, like when we feed them with so much processed food, so many candies and processed junk food. So this is the time, actually, we wanted to show you that there is a way. It's not that you have to miss your favorite candies, favorite treats, and not to enjoy your Halloween. Yes, you can do it. You can definitely enjoy your Halloween. You can definitely make that candy or chocolatey treats, and you can definitely have your junk food, but you can take a notch up. So you can make it healthy. And this is the reason, actually, this week we are having this healthy junk food challenge. But today we have a special guest who would be talking about eating behaviors, because it's not only the food that we consume, but even how we eat it is important. Because a lot of us, we think, oh, I eat healthy, like I'm good, but I don't know like why I keep gaining weight, or I don't know what's happening. So if you want to know like how our eating patterns or eating behaviors affect us, this is the session not to be missed. So feel free to invite your family members, share this live with your friends, family members, and they would be happy that they actually attended this. And you can also ask questions. So we are so glad that Dr. Mitika is here. So welcome, Dr. Mitika. And I'm so happy that you're here, and can't wait to talk and share this very important topic, I would say, because not many people talk about it. Like many people are aware of drug addiction or tobacco addiction or you name it, all the addiction. But when it comes to food, not many people actually talk about it in a manner that people understand and can make changes about it. So welcome, Mitika.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rayapudi. Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And yes, it's amazing to be in festival season, I call it. Every fall is my festival season. We started with Diwali, and now we are going into Halloween, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it's just lots of fun, right? Fall is even though your gardens are dying outside, you are doing some different things and getting more involved in life. And that's always great. So I want to kind of preface this with like, yes, I'm an expert in addiction. So I do a lot of addiction medicine work. And I also do lifestyle medicine work. So as all of us, I am a mere student. And so thank you for that beautiful introduction. I'll try to do what justice I can to the topic. I have prepared a few slides. Is it okay if I go ahead and share them?
Sure, Mitika, go ahead and share your slides.
Yeah.
Yes, so we are able to see your slides.
Perfect. So this is kind of like a starting point of discussion. So we are just going to go over some definitions and then leave with some tools. You can't do too much in like 5 or 10 minutes, but I've tried to cram as much information together as I could. So why are we even talking about this? We are bombarded with different messaging around food all the time. It is hard to get the knowledge of what it works for us, catered to us specifically. We don't exactly know much about binge eating or food addiction, but no matter what book you pick up, they're either going to throw out some of these terms, and they're going to throw them off in almost like a condescending manner, which hurts us. It hurts that inner child inside, and we need to be aware of that. And does disordered eating mean that you have an eating disorder? So these are the questions we may have consciously or unconsciously, and we are going to talk a little bit about these. So what are some things we all go through? Raise your hand if you've tried, some kind of diet or some kind of plan that didn't work. Like, yeah, I think most of us adults would be there. And like right here, I don't know how many times I can raise my hand, but maybe I will. We have external and internal messaging about body shape, what is good, what is bad. I need to be this way or that way. And it feels like a cycle. And what comes in this cycle are guilt and shame and rigidity. So guilt and shame are pervasive, whether you talk about addiction, whether you talk about food behaviors, these are pervasive. They come everywhere for free. It's like take a diet and get guilt and shame for free. And that's problematic, that's traumatic. And some of it can turn into rigidity, like, oh, this has to be so. And this can be internal or external. Sometimes it's in a family setting. So if you have been in a family that says, hey, we are going to finish everything on our plate, even if you're full, completely full, and you have to go, overeat. Why did you serve yourself? So that's in a way was started at a time of food scarcity, but we are in a time of food overabundance, and that guilt comes in like, oh, I was not able to finish everything on my plate. Well, I'm not the food police and I'm not watching, and you should not be watching either. Like, do what you can. So we'll go through that a little bit. So brief definitions, we'll go through problematic eating. So there are many behaviors can come under the problematic eating. Night eating is basically a lot of people have this, evening or nighttime. They've apparently been good all day and said, oh, I'm going to hold on and not do anything. And then come nighttime, they start eating. And then what is that going to do? Binge eating disorder, food addiction, we'll look a little bit more closely. And anorexia nervosa and ARFID, we'll just talk very briefly. So what we will focus on, if you take nothing from today's talk, you just take this one word, compassion. And without compassion, none of this food work is going to be possible. Or any self-inventory. You have to start with a point of compassion, not judging ourselves every second of the day, and just letting go and understanding and finding a balance. So flavors and wellness, intuitive eating and healing trauma, messaging around food. So anytime we have a look at a social media site, we get these messaging. I recently started being on Instagram and I'm like, oh, I have to be this way or that way, or maybe I need to just dance a reel to be accepted. And so a lot of the messaging is also around body size and shape, and that we have to be cognizantly aware of. Otherwise, we just get almost programmed to think in a certain way. So you have to be able to step outside and look at it. We are constantly feeling, I'm doing this wrong because, I'm not meeting all of these benchmarks of filters and whatnot. So I'm doing this wrong. And then before and after results, I also give you like this Amazon Prime, like I'm doing this for 2 weeks already. Why am I not XYZ? And maybe if I just, I don't know, any random thought, maybe if I just exercise 5 hours a day, like they showed on Biggest Losers, I will be able to do this. Maybe if I did that. So we are constantly scrounging for an answer. And this impression of ourselves is regardless of whether we look a certain way or not. We will always find something to look for. And I want to say there's a two ways of looking at seeking behavior. So seeking or thirst is a word called trishna in Sanskrit, and trishna can be looked in a bad way and a good way as well. So if it's you have too much over thirst or over hunger for something where these are external gratification, external desires, that's looked at it, we have to stay away from that. Like, oh, think of any hyperbolic example. That's not where we are thinking. There's a different thirst is, I just want to feel satiated. I just want to feel normal. And that's what you need to focus on when we look at what are my internal desires, what are some of my core beliefs, and take it from there. And that's a hard place to get to. Problematic eating can, exist in various forms. And eating disorder diagnoses are very rare. Like the number of self-help books I've read, they just throw some, oh, you are addicted to X or addicted to Y, or you have this problem or that problem, just casually about, are generally so wrong. And so just because you have some disordered eating in some part, that does not mean you actually meet criteria for an eating disorder. Eating disorder diagnosis, when you look at the general population, are rarer than we think that they are. And some problematic eating can include objective or subjective binging. And this is one of the most commonest things I'll hear is like, oh, I binged on pizza. Okay. So how much did you eat? And it might be their perception of binging might be one slice or two slices because they are thinking, okay, my food app is going to be really mad at me. So that's a subjective binging, if they're not really binging. Severe restriction, binging, purging can start slowly, and then when it goes really big, then it can meet criteria. And avoiding major food groups. We see a lot of messaging around this. Let's not eat anything made of flour. Let's not do this. Let's not do that. So that messaging is different, but when it becomes not evidence-based, not data-driven, and it's more like only if I do this, or I'm going to be very restrictive about this, then my health will be better, or then my goals will be better. Grazing, meal skipping, compulsive overeating. I think a lot of us have had aspects of this at all the time. And I want to say that be compassionate. All of this does not mean you have an eating disorder. We'll talk more. All right. So binge eating disorder, you can see there's this huge definition criteria. Basically, it is if you overeat way beyond the point of fullness in a 2-hour period, it's called binge eating. And then there is, eating much more rapidly, uncomfortably full, eating when not hungry, being embarrassed. So shame and guilt, all of that just comes in. And this has to happen over a long period of time to meet criteria. Food addiction, I want to make a special note here. This is still a research terminology. It does not come into practice. So like when you go to addiction training. You're not talking or teaching food addiction because it's not yet come into clinical practice and still is thrown about just everywhere. It goes through a 11 point scale, and these features have to be present over 12 months. And it's very similar to talking about any other addiction. Loss of control, eating beyond fullness, this causes distress, use despite consequences, withdrawal from activities, and others were concerned with my use. And I think if I had to have a pet peeve with one of the criteria would be others were concerned with my use, because every day you will see something like, oh, I'm a mom and I'm 5 months postpartum and my husband is saying I should eat only salad. So like, that's not what I'm talking about, right? And there's a whole lot that needs to be unpacked right there. And so this is the reason why they are trying to revise these criteria. They're looking at it. Lots of brilliant minds are engaged in this work, and lots more to come. So I want to just open this up. Does food have a moral value? Is it good or bad?
That's a very important question, Mitika. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, yeah, we label a particular food as very bad, and sometimes we label a particular food as very good.
Yeah, so this is like the big debate that happens between binge eating folks and food addiction folks. So binge eating will be like, you cannot label foods good and bad. And food addiction folks will be like, but processed foods did not exist more than 40 years ago or 100 years ago. So this needs to be talked about. So there's no agreement yet, right? At the same time, they do agree that, how do I put it? Just too much of this lingo being put at good, bad, very bad, all of that can lead to like restrictive pattern. And so like you can't say that, I don't know, any cucumber is horrible. You just can't say that. So anorexia nervosa, just briefly, is restricting to the point of needing higher level of care. So that can be therapy, that can be, intensive outpatient or even inpatient therapy where patients need to be refed because they've had so many messages, traumatized about food at such an early age that unfortunately this happens. And then there is also this misperception that only underweight people can have anorexia nervosa. No, this can occur at any weight. This is a behavior, not a weight definition. And bulimia is binging and purging behavior that we hear very often about celebrities doing. All right. So I'm going to go on into the solutions directly. So step one is compassion. And compassion is going to look very different to all of us. Some of the times, the most frequent things we hear is like, how can a normal weight person tell me that I need to be compassionate, right? There are some people who have struggled with food behaviors and some people who have not, and there are degrees that people suffer from. Just take a moment, take a deep breath, and feel this compassion. Why do we start with compassion? Because inventory is very hard. Because you're going to see good parts of yourself, bad parts of yourself, and you need to be able to manage that. The only way you can even look into that is being assured that you have this unlimited amount of love within you. So know you have limitless love and compassion inside you. Observe things that you like and dislike, and let go of some of the beliefs like this has to be this way or this has to be that way, and accept them and let them go. So this is similar to like any meditation exercise. Your thoughts will come to you. It's when you don't pass judgment over those thoughts and you just let them go that you elevate your meditative practice. So, the second step is medical check. You ask your doctor to make sure your physical health is okay, do all your lab work. Worst thing would be to miss a problem. So this is when you've looked at everything, and that's very important. You have to take a look, maybe even do sequential labs. And I'm sure you, Dr. Rayapudi, you have a whole course on that, so I'm not going to go too much in detail. So for example, hyperinsulinemia, like, if you have, if your insulin should be like 40, 50, 60 points after dinner and it's it goes to 200 points, then 2 hours later you'll want to eat because you have too much insulin floating in your body. So there are some things that you need to be aware of, hypothyroidism and so on. So many endocrine problems can be contributing to this. So repairing the relationship with food, ask yourself what the experience of eating a so-called taboo food is like. So like envision what's your, just throw out there what's kind of a food that you consider taboo that I can't eat. And then think about it, imagining holding it. So I'm going to go with chocolate cake because that's one of my favorite things to eat. And, what is the experience of eating this? So, previously I would have said, it tastes good. It does, right? And so there are good parts. So like, oh, I'm feeling stressed at work. I'm feeling stressed in school. I'm missing my exam. Maybe eating this will feel good because we are thinking the dopamine is equal to happiness. And it's okay. We go there slowly. And when, if everything's going wrong at work, you can't just simply start shouting. And you develop this as a coping skill in a way. And it helps me feel good in that moment. It helps boredom. So what are some bad parts? So I think Snickers diva, anybody has seen that ad, well, maybe I identify with it or not. But at some point, maybe I eat too much of it, or maybe I get overfull, maybe I feel uncomfortable. But I think one of the things that stands out to me is that like after 5 or 6 bites, or even 3 bites, it kind of is like, why am I there? And the more you go, the more you do this, slowly the hold certain foods that have over you will disappear, especially with like, say, something I've observed with just plant-based is like the foods that my tastes have changed. So allow yourself to have different tastes, even though the memory is there, the same effect may not be present. Um, so I would like to say like this kind of mindfulness experiments are helpful. And also you need to note what went well, what didn't go well. One other way of thinking about it is like, say, for example, I don't know, in my grocery store, if you try to go to the salad section, the bakery comes first. And you see all the awesome goods. And so for some of us, it's just a thought, okay, I want this or I don't want that. Some of us is like really, really strong. Like, I really want this. I really want those pretzels or whatever. And for others, it's like, what do I do with pretzels? It doesn't matter. You are different. Every person is different. And in that moment where you're feeling this kind of almost like a trigger, you can do like a thought exercise. Where are you at? So I use it as, am I feeling balanced? Am I feeling very like anxious, or I have to get this done, or generally it's like a deadline, or I'm feeling like everything is wrong, and maybe that's why I'm gravitating to the food. And it's okay. Just see where you are at and move on from there. No judging. Allow yourself to observe what happens if you do go ahead. Journal your thoughts and name the emotions. So I think a lot of us skip the part of naming the emotions and just do the activity and then kind of feel powerless on the other end. If we start naming the emotions and then still do whatever behavior it is, then it's food for thought. This is just starting. Some handy tips. So based on some of the comments that you had shared with me, Dr. Rayapudi, and of course, always aid to satiety, not over fullness. Like we say in Sanskrit, a quarter of the belly is full of liquid, half is food, and a quarter is just air. And that's kind of where you stop. And most of us are either watching TV or reading something, right? Because we don't have that idea of eating together as a family. Not always. Everybody's schedules are difficult. So maybe that's when we are not paying attention, and we need to start paying attention at that time. One thing I do not like is people saying, oh, I need to do this. I need this part of my body, that part of my body is problematic. You need to be more kind to your body. For night eating, what we learn in lifestyle medicine is have a healthy breakfast. And sometimes it is sleep that is lacking. So I call it like on-call behavior. All of us that have been on call know this, right? So you have dinner and you really, really want to sleep, but you know that your page is going to go off. So you're going to eat something and get that little bit of a sugar high and feel like, okay, I'm ready to do things. I'm ready to crack that PowerPoint that I need to belt out or whatever that is. And then it's very hard to go back to sleep. And sometimes the answer is overeating at that time to fall asleep. Hyperinsulinemia, I talked about it a little bit. And I like this part is what is your body type? So based on Ayurveda, you have different body types. So some of us like sour food, some of us like sweet or spicy food, and some of us like just sweet foods. It may depend. And if you're not getting those tastes during the day, then by the evening, you're going to feel uneasy, or you've been restricting for so many things for so long that you actually have micronutrient deficiencies that, again, the medical check should have found for you. And these are the different kinds of tastes, so 6 types of tastes. And I love this because, you can make simple food for everybody and people can add their extra taste on their serving and still feel satiated. So let's connect with our inner wisdom. And thank you. Oh, you're mute.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Mitika. So this was wonderful. Actually, when you were saying like people were, yes, I mean, sending likes and all. Yes, like I recognize with this, like I have tried so many diet programs, or like I recognize this pattern. So when you were describing the patterns and the eating behaviors. So you have very beautifully put out, okay, so the first thing is compassion. Like once when we find ourselves uh, uh, doing certain kind of behaviors, maybe be compassionate to ourselves. But even before coming to that, Dr. Mitika, what would you say? Like some of us are even aware, like I know, like we just tend to see it as a normal behavior. Like we eat our breakfast, lunch, or supper, and then at nighttime, like we may grab that bag of chips or bag of candy and have it all gone, and don't even realize, because we are so good at our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe we are not having that many calories, but just in that 5 to 6 minutes of nighttime eating, so easily we can eat 2000 calories in 7 minutes and not even know about it, and then later worry about it. But like if we are not aware of that, like how can we even bring awareness even before going to that compassion state?
So I think there are a few different points you touched right there. I mean, people are probably reporting it to you, right? That this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So they are aware, right? So I would say there is a simple, any patient with any trigger, I just say, walk back. So what do I mean by walk back? So what happened through the day? What were points of tension in the day? Points of tension can be anything: anger, sadness, name that emotion. When did that occur? So it's saying, okay, I'm eating all of this suddenly at night, but that doesn't mean that the point of tension occurred at night. It probably happened X, Y, Z hours ago, 6 hours ago, 5 hours ago, whatever. At that point, with some partial consciousness, you have decided today I'm going to chillax. This is my Netflix and chill moment, and this is what I'm going to do. So walk back to that moment. And what else can you do to dispel that trigger at that point? And even when you are eating, like don't look at TV and eat, easier said than done, right? Enjoy the process, like really enjoy the process and try to taste the flavors. It's going to be limited.
Those are really such wonderful points, because as you said, it's very important that we enjoy, because unconsciously, even when we are in front of the TV, like we are not aware how much we are eating or how much we are putting in our mouth. So at least like when like you brought up a very good point, maybe just like a kid, enjoy that candy or ice cream or whatever you're eating, enjoy, and then maybe like you can watch your show. So that's really nice. So we have Diana here saying, thanks for bringing in the self-compassion element and pausing to understand the emotions. And Craig says, one of the best books I recently read on compulsive eating, written by psychiatrist, is Breaking Addiction, Lance Dodds. So, and a lot of people are actually saying like they're appreciative of your presentation and thanking you for a really wonderful session, and bringing up like all the few tips that you have shared with us.
Yeah. So another thing for night eating, and I think I mentioned it, is probably you are also not having enough satiety during the day. And if you're not meeting the tastes that your body personally, specifically responds to, and then it can get blown into something else. And at that time, you are not thinking about, okay, I needed to have these tastes in the morning. No, you're not thinking about that. You're just thinking of fulfilling this kind of hunger need. And so make sure that you are having enough number of carbohydrates in the morning, especially morning and lunch, right? Breakfast and lunch. And that should decrease by itself. And second is sleep cycle regulation. If you're supposed to be in bed at 10, be in bed at 10. Like, don't roam around till 11, because then your body is trying to figure out a way to make you fall asleep, and it might be overeating.
Wonderful. That's really a wonderful tip, because what we find is it's only like when we are awake during the night that we try to grab for the snack. So it's better to be on bed rather than like trying to eat this. That's for sure. Yeah. So Judy is saying, great info delivered with compassion. So, and Trudy is saying, really good information, very nice session. So Chitra is saying, yeah, thank you for a wonderful session. Those yeah, so you have lots of comments, Dr. Mitika, like thanking you for a really wonderful presentation. So like you have really touched upon a very basic thing. So for anything, as you said, like once we have the awareness of eating behavior, only when we have the awareness of the eating behavior and when we have compassion, maybe we can do something about it. Like maybe we can do something about changing that behavior. Otherwise, we'll be just beating ourselves up and not bring that behavior change, and just continue doing that.
Yeah, no, and at the same time, I would say that the first thing we need to get rid of from our plate is shame and guilt.
Yes. That's very important thing. Get rid of shame and guilt, and also get rid of the junk food, I would say, because if they're not in the house, it's unlikely that you're going to reach for it, because sometimes we try to say to ourselves, oh, I'm just going to have that one piece. I'm like, we might just bring that big bag of chips thinking that maybe I'll consume this bag over 1 month or 1 week. I mean, that's how sometimes we tend to think. But like, if we recognize that certain food is a problem, so what do you think, Dr. Mitika? Is it a good idea not to put in a shopping cart and not to bring home?
So I think we are trying to go beyond that, right? Beyond that restrictive mentality. And I think you're just, you are getting my point, but you just want to elaborate it. So I would say you have to go through your why. So some of the best startup people will say you have to do 5 whys, right? Why do you want to bring this on? Why do you think that is that you want to do that? It just tastes good. Why does it taste good? When was the last time you tried to do this? And what happened at that time? So we are trying to do a little bit more deeper dive. And also at the same time, like it might be that you like certain foods and some other people in your home like some other foods. I guess it's always a question about where is the power and where is the control. So understand the power dynamics of any situation, and that will empower you, just knowing what those are.
That's a wonderful tip, and I like the way you said like 5 different whys. Okay, so like, why do you want to do it? What happened when you did last time? So like, yeah, digging deep certainly helps. Yeah.
Yeah. And until you get there, if you want like the highly processed stuff, if you want to leave out, that's fine. The idea is that even if that stuff were in your house, you should come to a place where you have equanimity, and that's sattva. You have to come to a place of equanimity, and it can sit in your house and have no hold over you.
So how would you get to that state of equanimity? So like, what are some of the things people can do to find that balance or equanimity despite that food's been in the house?
So I think a large part of it just comes from, if you're eating whole foods that pleasure you, or not even pleasure you, that make you feel satiated and happy is not the same as pleasure. So understand the difference between happiness, serotonin, and dopamine. And when you try going towards serotonin, you are automatically not attracted that much to dopamine. And until you get there, it's okay to say, okay, I'm not going to bring it in for a little bit. So this is the big debate between eating disorder and food addiction, right? They will always fight about this.
That's a gold mine, actually, you spoke, Dr. Mitika, because that is so true. Like, I remember when I was transitioning from, even previously, like, I used to eat chicken, dairy, and chocolate, ice cream. Oh, like these were my favorites. I mean, I can just eat loads and loads of ice cream. And when I was transitioning to plant-based diet, it was very interesting to note, like when I was able to make those same ice creams or like whatever my favorite foods were. So when I was able to make with wholesome ingredients, I started enjoying that taste. Like I mean, I started enjoying that taste so much to the point that this the previous processed food did not attract that much. Where like, at least even if they're in front of my face, like I was able to say, okay, no, like I'm not going to have them, because I know like how I can make the same thing with wholesome ingredients and have much fun and have great taste. So
yeah, and the next level is that I can maybe have my indulgence when I feel like it, when I plan for it. And planning makes things boring for me. For most of us, okay, I'm going to schedule having this ice cream on Sunday at 10 a.m. I don't think there's a way to make it more boring than that, at least for me personally. And some of the parts of this process are the just whole food plant-based doesn't do all of it for me. I do need those play with the shadrasa that brings it home for me. And for everybody, that journey is going to be different, individual, and just right for you.
yes, you're so right, because it's not that everybody has to like the same foods, or yeah, like some people may like it crunchy, some people may like it sweet, some people may like it sour, some people. So like having all the flavors and knowing like what is that you are, what is the flavor that you like, or what is that you are in mood for. So that certainly helps. Like
Yeah, or it can just be this is where my equanimity lies. So like, for
Mhm.
example, for me, unfortunately, I discovered a new thing that I absolutely love. And I made fresh, sorry, green salsa. So that's tomatillo. So fresh tomatoes plucked from my backyard, fresh jalapeno plucked, and then garlic I already had from the store. I made that salsa. Trust me, like the farm to table stuff does it for me. And it's just salsa.
Yes.
Enjoy. So the more fresh, the more lively, the better.
Yes, you're right. So for some of you who are wondering, okay, like even what we are talking about, or when we get the taste of the real food, the foods that are available in nature, our taste buds do respond to them. And I mean, the taste and the feeling and the goodness that we feel, it's nothing comparable to like when we are eating, I would say, stale or processed food. But anyhow, that's a different debate, which I won't go there. But if you're wondering, okay, sometimes when we talk about transitioning to whole food plant-based, so people might be, oh, I don't think I'll be able to do that. I don't think I mean, I love my chicken, or I love my chocolate, or I love my ice cream. I don't think I would be able to give that up. I don't think I would be, I want to taste that whole food, or do that stupid whole food thing. So
It's not for everybody, and it's okay. It's okay to not. It's okay. You know, both sides have to be okay. It's okay. It's not for you. It's okay. It's not for me. I think one of the biggest issues that WFPB owes its success to is the fact that we certainly, all of us, have a fiber deficiency. People keep obsessing about protein, but it's the fiber that's missing from our diets. I just say, how about just adding more fiber? And nobody minds adding more fiber. Everybody understands we are taking less.
mhm. That's so true. Yes, adding more fiber. But yeah, as both Dr. Mitika and me agree, like we can definitely make the whole foods tasty. And now with Halloween coming, I know, so you might be wondering, okay, if I'm not offering candy to the kids, maybe they may not like, because that's when they come for trick or treating, they may prefer candy. So that's what I'm going to give. But there are definitely things that you can actually make and serve it to kids, where you don't have to feel guilty, the kids don't have to feel guilty, and it's a win-win situation for both of you when you're making those tasty, healthy treats. Actually, this is what our participants are doing. Like if you look at the pictures, you would be really blown away. Like today, actually, they created the chocolate creations, and yesterday they made crunchy creations with chips, and today, like, they made date nut rolls, brownies, and all the sweet yummy creations. And it's unbelievable like how good they taste. And they were surprised, like it's so simple to make, it's so easy to make, and I mean, it's just, the taste is out of the world. So no matter whether you're a chocolate lover or you have that crunchy tooth, so we do want to let you know is you can just take that simple small steps to make that shift. And like instead of having the store-bought candies, we can definitely prepare our favorite junk food at home, which won't take much time, and which is delicious, and which won't sabotage your health. So this is what like a lot of people are doing as well. So we are really grateful that you are able to uh, participate in this challenge. Actually, this week we are running the healthy junk food challenge. For some of you, if you're wondering like what I'm talking about, so we are so we are really showing people like how you can have all this tasty food without sabotaging your health. So thank you, Dr. Mitika, so much, and offering your tips about like what we can do when we have a certain uh, eating behavior, or and what is that we can do. So this session was so helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm going to hop off, but watch your demonstration.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yes, happy Halloween to you. Okay, so let me. Okay, so like what we are going to do is, since Halloween is coming this Monday, we just wanted to show you like how simply you can make certain treats for the kids. And also like this is something that you can have. So I just wanted to show you like how you can indulge uh, in sweet treats. So we are just going to show you one simple recipe where you can have that sweetness, have that crunchiness, and enjoy the treats. So I'll be heading over to my kitchen, and let me spotlight my kitchen camera. So I'm going to head downstairs, and we'll meet you in my kitchen just to show a quick demo. Okay, I'm just adjusting my camera. Okay, so are you guys able to see and hear me well? Okay, so let me okay, let me just no, let me just get my dish. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a very simple recipe, and this is something that you can actually put together in 2 to 3 minutes, and it's delicious. So I'm just going to make fruit salsa, and we'll also have chips. So we'll have some chips and fruit salsa. To make the fruit salsa, you can pick any fruit. I'm just going by the fruits that I have in my house. So I have apple, so I have some cut apple. I got persimmon or the Chenin fruit, so that's what I'm using. But if you don't have it, this is not something that you have to use. Just go by the fruits that you have in your house. These are picked blueberries, and this is kiwi. So one kiwi cut. And like this is mango. Like I took dried mango. So this is the pack. Oops. So this is the dried mango pack which we get in Costco. And since we don't have fresh mangoes available here, so I get this pack of dried mangoes from Costco, and they are so tasty. They are so sweet. So I just take those mangoes. So this is how, so they're just like dried pieces, as you can see. And I just soak them in water. And when I soak them in water, so you just see like you get this soft mango consistency. So to make salsa, like I'm taking a half cup of mango, and I am adding a half cup of apples, and I'm adding 1 kiwi. So this is cut. And you can use any berries. So today I don't have strawberries in my house, so that's why I'm not putting strawberries. You can pick strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. So any type of berries that you have, you can make it. And so I'm just going to mix this and put some blueberries. And you just mix it. And to this, I'm just going to add 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And just mix it. This is good as it is for me, is because the mangoes are very sweet, persimmon is sweet, and you can select sweet fruits. Like you can select a wash pear, or like any type of fruit that is sweet, and you can make wonderful salsa. So this is, so as you can see, we can just put together and our fruit salsa is ready. So for me, this sweetness is enough, but for you, if you think it's still it's not that sweet to your liking, you can add like 1 teaspoon of maple syrup, and that will just sweeten it a bit. So not much, just adding that 1 teaspoon, it will actually enhance the flavor. So your fruit salsa is done, and we can have this fruit salsa with chips. So I'm just going to show you how we can make quick and easy chips. So for this, we need tortillas, like whole wheat tortillas. And this is something that you can buy from your grocery store. Like here we have Sobeys or No Frills, and so we just take this tortilla, and with the pizza cutter, you just slice them into triangle shape, and then we will be putting them in the microwave. So if you have oven or air fryer, you can do so. But let's say even if you don't have an air fryer in the house, so this is something that you can prepare quick and easy. So it will give you around 12 pieces. And we are going to just arrange this on the plate and put it in the microwave for 1.5 minutes. I know it will also depend upon your microwave. So like our microwave, it takes 1.5 minutes, and like let us put it. So I'm just going to use a parchment paper. Even if you don't have the parchment paper, that's fine, but this just helps. So you could just arrange the chips. There you go. And I'm just going to put it in the microwave for 1.5 minutes. also going to show you a small trick. So the chips, as they are, they're good. Like you can have, once they're done, you can have the chips with salsa. But to just add a special zest to it, so this is dairy-free chocolate chips. So like I carry a few dairy-free chocolate chips. This is something, again, you can get from Costco. So you can see like you have this semi-sweetened dairy-free chocolate chips. I just take a few of them and just put it in the microwave for 30 seconds to 1 minute, and just add like 1 teaspoon of water, and you could just melt the chocolate. You can have the chocolate, and once you have the chips, you can actually dip the chips on the chocolate. I know just the chips with salsa is heaven, but like dipping it in the chocolate and eating is that extra. So as you can hear, the microwave is done. So the chips are done. I'm just going to bring it. Okay, so as you can see, they're done. So I just let it cool for half a minute, because after they cool down, they are really crunchy. So I'm just letting it sit. But as I told you, like this is like what I did is you can see this chocolate covered chips, and when you have them with the fruit salsa, so let me try this fruit salsa. The fruit salsa is so sweet. It has that, since I have kiwi, it has all the flavor. I mean, the sweetness from mango, the tanginess from kiwi, and the crunch from the apple and the berries. It's really so nice. And especially when you have this chocolate. Really, I just feel like I'm in heaven. It's so good, the chocolate. And yeah, so like our dog Maitri is also looking. Okay, give me some. Hey Maitri. So as you can see, it was so simple to make, just in 2 to 3 minutes. And usually, like what we do for Halloween is we just get this bag of tortillas, cut them into triangle shape, and make the chips, and cover them with chocolate, just to make it interesting for the kids. And this is what actually you can give them as a Halloween treat as well. Like you can call them as chocolate chips as well. And sometimes, if you, in the past, what our participants have done is, if you have cookie cutters in the shape of bats, so you can just cut the tortillas into that bat shape, and the wings actually, like you can coat with chocolate, so they give you a nice bat shape with the chocolatey wings. And that is something that you can offer to kids for Halloween. And you can shape them in any form. Like you can cut them into heart shape. It doesn't have to be triangle, but you can turn them into different shapes, and just coat them with dairy-free chocolate chips. Have them as it is, or like you can coat them with chocolate and have as a crunchy chocolate chip. or have them with fruits also. So as you can see, like this is something where you don't have to feel guilty, like when you're having fruits and like when you're having dairy-free chocolate. So that is something that it's not that you would be consuming too many calories. So you would be consuming that is healthy for you, and that's not sabotaging your health. And even though you're eating something sweet, it's not that you're consuming that processed white sugar. So this is a simple recipe that you can certainly try. So in the comments, we will post the recipe. So, and actually, people who are participating in our healthy junk food challenge, they are making lots and lots of recipes. So, as I said yesterday, they made the crunchy snacks. They made chips, all kinds of chips. Today, they made all kinds of sweet treats. And tomorrow they are just going to make that fatty and creamy creation. So we are really excited that people are really having fun in this challenge. And if you're wondering like what I'm talking about, so this is the healthy junk food challenge, which is free for everyone to join. So you can definitely join, get the recipe book, like where you can actually prepare your most favorite junk foods, which don't sabotage your health, which don't increase your cholesterol, which don't increase your sugar levels. So this is something you can certainly try, and we highly encourage, like, do try this and let us know how they turn out. So have a really happy Halloween. We wish like this. I know Halloween is the time that we want to celebrate. We want to have fun with our kids, and we want our kids to be healthy as well. So see that if you can make this little change this Halloween, instead of handing candies to your trick-or-treaters, maybe you can just hand this chocolate chips. And we also make popcorn, and we drizzle some maple syrup to make candied popcorn. So, and that is something that we give to our trick-or-treaters. So let's say even if you don't have time to make anything for your trick-or-treaters, so see that instead of handing any candies or sugary treats, see if you can give them any non-food items. So like either pens, pencils, or notepads, or stickers, or some nice things that they can use. So make sure you celebrate a safe and healthy Halloween this year. And we are so excited for you all. Thanks for joining today's session. We hope like you got some ideas, and you can also put your thinking cap on in terms of, okay, what I can do with my eating behavior. So what is that one small change that I can make in my behavior that doesn't sabotage my health? So we wish you all the best and have a wonderful evening. See you.